Hello out there. I hope that you guys have enjoyed your Thanksgiving and you had lots of laughter and time with your family. So now I'm back to life and relationship things. Um, Listen, fellas, I know that you guys are saying these days that women out here, there's no loyalty. Women only want men for money, or they're just wanting to play the field. Things like that are being said. Women only wanting to use a man for a dinner, taking them out, and, just what it is, like a meal ticket or something like that. This just came to me as I was talking about that. Like, is that all y'all have to complain about? Because she treat you like a meal ticket when you have played the field with women countless times. I'm not saying that every brother did it, but majority of y'all have played women countless times, and all y'all worrying about is her treating you like a meal ticket. Come on, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. But anyway, listen, uh, could it be just another excuse? Could it just be another excuse as to why you don't want to settle down? Don't get me wrong, I do believe in choosing long and not wrong. And I'm going to give it up to the brothers. I got this revelation several months ago that men actually choose not the revelation wasn't better than women, but it's still the same concept that men choose better than women, that men actually are the more traditional when it comes to making their choice of their life partner than women are, because men are not going to settle. They tend to get what they want. And if they're with someone who's not giving them what it is that they want, they're not going to settle in a lifelong relationship with them. Ladies, that's one thing to definitely be mindful of. Please be mindful of this when you're dating. And if a guy's not willing to be committed to you, you take heed to that, because that means that he does not see you as the one. Men don't necessarily operate in relationships like women do when it comes to making a lifelong commitment. And so, therefore, you can learn a lot where you're dating. You can learn a lot about a man and the character and the nature of a man if you're willing to pay attention and not only let things be about yourself. So that's just a little nugget. But fellas, could it be that you're making an excuse? I'm not. Again, I'm not trying to make light of you experiencing a different wave of women these days. But the truth is that, like, men have treated women poorly for so long. And now that women are responding and are acting differently, it's like, whoa, I ain't dealing with that. I ain't trying to feel that. And it's the what I'm hearing from men. It's like, y'all, it's a little selfish. It's a little self-centered. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all kind of, like, y'all women out here, y'all just doing the most, and I ain't trying to get with it. So all I'm gonna do is get what I can get out of you. You've pretty much been doing that from forever, you know. Y'all, men have treated women like a piece of meat for a very long time. So, women are getting tired of it. I'm not saying that they're doing the right thing. I'm not saying that they're making the right approach by trying to take a man for all he has, and with this whole idea of all he's good for is a meal, or to take me out or whatever. That's a response to not knowing how to do things differently. That's a response from a woman who does not know or have not begun to understand men, you know, and vice versa. Men, your response to saying, I'm just not dating, I'm not with it, all because you see how women are doing, is a response to a man not knowing women, to you not taking the time to learn a woman. Both responses are coming from a selfish place. Both responses are coming from a place where you have not allowed yourself to grow, to mature. It's coming from a place of where you are not confident. It's coming from a place of brokenness and being hurt. Get it? I get it. I have had that mind. My mind has tried to take me there so many times. I have had the mind to act like a man many times. But guess what? Women, we will lose. We always lose when we try to act like a man. And what I mean by this, when we say, well, I'm just going to get with whatever man, I'm just going to treat men how they treat us. I'm going to do this, all I'm going to take him for is what he got, money. It can be physical. Some women, we feel like, okay, well, he want my body. Oh, well, that's what he's going to get. I'm just going to take his body. That's what they want, y'all. Like, one man ain't going to be cool with that. Now, what's gonna happen is he's not, because men are very men, y'all can be very what's the word I want to say, um not double minded, but y'all know when you say one thing, but yet when it comes to you, you it's a different, like you expect something totally different. I can't think of the word for it right now, but y'all can men, y'all can be something. Like y'all can be very impatient. Y'all can if it ain't your way, it's no way. Men can be like that sometimes. And so therefore, a man will be with you, he will sleep with you, he will spend time, he'll do all those things and know he don't want to be with you, especially if he sees that you have a certain track record. And but he won't settle with you, he won't commit to you, but yet he will play the field with you. And women feel like, well, because he's playing the field, then that means that that's supposed to mean that he wants to be with me. And that's just not how it works in men's world, in a man's sphere. That's in a man's mind. That ain't how that work. Men kind of, like, I'm gonna do this, but as I remember some years ago being at work, and I remember somebody telling me that one of the supervisors operated in such this manner right here. She said that now, if the phones are ringing, the supervisor would stand over there, and the supervisor would talk to you, and they would have a conversation with you while the phones are ringing, right? And write you up because you decided to talk to them without answering the phone when that's your job. Your job is to answer phones, and because the nature of the work, of the job description, is very important that you do that. And so I was told that there was a supervisor or two that they'll stand over there now and talk, whatever. This is not something that is important. This is like if it's just a general conversation. And they'll write you up because you're talking, because you did not do what was expected of you. You did not do, and that's kind of like how men are. They'll play the field with you, and they'll sleep with you, and they'll come over. Your kids can be home, and you trying to treat them like a husband when you got some kids over here that's needing your attention, but you giving the attention to the bed, and you think he ain't paying attention, and he paying attention to all that. He paying attention to how you keeping your house and all that stuff now. And he'll come over your house. He don't care. He'll come over your house and spend time with you. But as far as making you his main girl, his lady, being committed to you, not gonna happen. Because he don't like how you keeping your house. He don't like how you raising your children. He don't like how you're giving him all of the attention without handling your responsibility. He might know that you be having different men come in and out of the house, but you feel like, oh, that's not my man, so I can do what I want to do. But yet this brother over here, like, okay, well, you just because I ain't your man, why you treating yourself like that? And so whereas women feel they can do what a man does, and I understand you might feel like that's being having a double standard. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Having a double standard is just is life. And I know we're in this place where we feel like I'm not gonna let society tell me how to live my life. I'm not gonna let people tell me how to live my life. I'm making my own life. I'm creating my own life. I'm doing and creating my own standards. I'm doing all. I'm inventing. I'm reinventing me. I'm reinventing life. And people have this mindset where they want to reinvent life, but there's going to be a group of people. There is a law of nature. There is a law of reciprocity. There is these divine laws, right? That you just ain't nothing you can do about it. Because you were created as a spiritual being, and because you are a spiritual being, there's just some things just going to operate the way they're going to operate. You can try to reinvent whatever you want to. You can try to change the laws, and you can do all these things all you want to do it. But it's like a rubber band. It's going to still bounce back in a certain way, There's still certain concepts, there's still certain practices, there's still certain structures that are going to happen. It's just going to be what it is, right? And so even like that with relationships and what, though you may feel like things should be a certain way, it's just not going to be. And this is the thing too, like, listen, pay attention. Certain people respond certain ways. Certain types of people have certain dispositions. They have certain thoughts and certain mindsets. Whereas you have another group of people who think this way, who has a certain mindset this way. So, you a lot of times we try to put everybody in one box when people are different. You can't put people in the same box. That includes men and women. It just don't work like that. Like you want a chick who got herself put together from head to toe. She's perfect. Well, then she's probably going to be that one who's going to take you for all you got. She's going to probably be that one who really don't want to have a love, a substantial relationship with you, but she's willing to have a form of relationship with you, but you're not going to really be able to keep her settled down because she has another agenda. She has another mindset. She has another thought process. So therefore, while you want to make her a housewife, you know that saying goes, you want to make a H into a housewife, but we know that the word is actually spelled with a W, right? Into a housewife. Yes, that ain't just what you ain't gonna be able to do that. Her mindset, her attraction is the streets. Her attraction is gratifying her flesh. Her attraction is getting what she need by any means possible. And ain't nothing you can do to stop that because she gonna do her thing, right? That's just who she is. That's her nature. It calls her, it draws her, it speaks to her. It's all she know. It's all she wanna do at that time. And so here it is, you're trying to take her and create her into something else when that ain't what she ready for. That ain't what she want. And that's the same thing, same way with y'all brothers. Like sometimes we women, we want to shape y'all and mold y'all into how we want you to be and how we need you because some of us know what kind of man we want. Some of us don't know what we want, but yet we know what we don't want. So you have different women or whatever, and yet we try to make y'all into being what we want. And it just don't work like that. When you ain't ready, you ain't ready. When you ain't matured, you haven't matured. When you haven't finished playing the field, you haven't finished playing the field. If you ain't responsible, you ain't responsible. If you ain't ready to work, you just ain't ready to work. We can't, women, you can't bring a man up into your house and he ain't got no job and he ain't working and he ain't taking care of himself, and you expect for him to come up in your house and take care of you and your children, or do something special for you just because it's you. You can have a woman's, a man can have a woman's influence and he can change, but he still have to want to do it. And even if you don't bring him into your home and he want you, he is going to do what's necessary to get you. So when you say you can't come live with me, and he say he want you, oh, then he's gonna go get a job. He gonna go get 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs, whatever he gotta do. He gonna make it work. He gonna whatever he gotta do to make it work. He gonna make it work for you because he wanna be with you. But if he doesn't, it's because he don't want you or because he's not ready to take on that responsibility. And you got to know that. You got to be okay with that. You got to leave that where it's at. It's okay. You wanted him. He seemed like a nice cat, maybe, whatever. I mean, I don't, no job. I mean, people go through hard times. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the same thing. If you're in a relationship with somebody and some things happen, you gotta, have patience. You gotta have a level of support. When you're not married, there's just certain things that that are not your responsibility. But nevertheless, you can't change a person because you can't change nobody. And we a lot of times we want to change people. That's just not how that works. You can't change anybody. And my thing is to focus on changing yourself. Focus on you. This is, like I said, going back to men, y'all, saying women these days. There's, can I say this? I think some of it is an excuse. I think there's too many. Don't get me wrong. Y'all have enlightened me about the character and the nature of a lot of these women out here these days. Like, I mean, I knew that, you know, I knew I kept my distance from certain things for a reason, but some of these stories, it's like, some of the things I hear coming out of some of these women's mouth, it's like, whoa, I get it. I get it. Ooh, but there are a lot of good women, I think, out here too that really, um, mm, I think there are good women out here. But ladies, yeah, that mind. You gotta get that mind right. You gotta get that mind right. You hear? Like I can't say it no more than what I'm saying. You got to work on that mind. You got to work on your emotional intelligence. Yeah, yeah. Because when you work on your emotional intelligence and you love yourself, there's a lot of things you can let go, and you'll be able to handle things differently. You'll be able to handle things in a different capacity. It's not about your status. It's not about how much money you're making. It's not about, your level of influence as much as it is about having your emotional intelligence and loving yourself, loving who you are. When you have those things, you can do so much more with your skills. You will be so much more attractive. You will be so much more desirable. That's just what it is. And so now, like, we have these fellas who feel like they can't. And then this is the thing too, you start to create a different dynamic in relationships. Because listen, men can't be in a relationship by themselves. They can't do it. Cause there's still the whole group of brothers out here that ain't trying to go to another man. I mean, hey, if y'all want to be that stubborn, well, because a woman have standards and responsibility. I mean, standards and um oh Lord, my mind is anyway. Because she has standards and things that she's not willing to accept because she love herself, and you decide, forget her, and you decide you want to go to the other side. That's on you. That ain't no reason for a woman to cut back off her standards because of. That's not your responsibility, ladies. That's not your responsibility, because if he's willing to do that and go on that side or whatever, then it's something he already wanted to do. But I would say this: there's a lot of men who ain't trying to have that. So if you set your standards, and if more women set standards, and if more women, have set structure, and more women, try to be godly and holy and righteous, and want better and want more for themselves, then guess what? Men don't have no choice but to adjust. I don't have no choice but to adjust. And even if they don't want to adjust, if you feel like it's just you finding yourself, feeling like you're in this thing by yourself because he's not adjusting, then that's, you got to be comfortable with who you are. You got to be confident. You got to come to grips with that and have that confidence that you okay being alone. You're okay being by yourself until the right one comes along. Eventually it will happen. Eventually he'll come along. It's okay. I mean, you just got to be willing. You got to be willing to take that chance. Just like fellas, you got to be willing to also take a chance at a relationship. You can't always have this mindset, well, women are this way, women are that way, ain't no good women out here, women trifling, women this, women that, whatever. I get it. Yes, women, you are, women are developing a reputation out of this world, especially my black sisters. We got to do better. Listen, it's the black sisters and the black men. It ain't all about the sisters, fellas. You can't put it all on the sisters, because the sisters' reaction are coming from your actions as well. And I mean, y'all, I'm not trying to say y'all are the blame, but there is a reaction to an action. There's a response. When you act a certain way, there's going to be a certain response eventually. So, but you got to be willing to take a chance. Relationships is about chances. If you're not prepared and willing to take a chance at a relationship, you're not ready to be intentional, you're not ready to work at it. Being intentional don't always mean that it's going to work out the way you want it to work out, but being intentional does mean that you're going to get what you need, okay? So, that's what it's about. It's not about you trying to please only and worry about only yourself. hey, you got to also know what you're going into. You got to know what you're dealing with. You got to know who you're dealing with. You got to know all those things. And you got to be straight up and honest with yourself and where you are. Either you're choosing long because you don't want to choose wrong, or either you choosing long because you ain't ready to settle down. And that's the difference. But anyway, y'all, that's just my little piece for right now. Until next time, be blessed.